All right, let's begin chapter 2. So here we're going to be talking about atoms and elements. So we're going to get a little bit more away from math, a little bit more into actual chemistry in this chapter. So what is an atom? An atom is the smallest identifiable unit of an element, and it is also what we would call a building block. So an element, so we said at the smallest of an element. What is an element? Element would be a pure substance or substances from which all other things in the universe are built. You probably heard of atoms and elements before, but that's kind of what they are. So let's kind of talk about the history and how we kind of got to where we are today. So we're talking about back in ancient Greece, so a really long time ago. People have been thinking about this for quite some time. Atoms comes from the Greek word atomos, which means uncuttable. So here you can say uncuttable. Atomos. So that's Greek, because it came from the Greek philosopher. His name is Democritus. And he said, so they're small, indivisible. Kind of makes me want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. But, so he was Greek, but you probably haven't heard of Democritus. But I bet you have heard of Plato and Aristotle. Well, they didn't like what Democritus had to say, and they were more popular. So in the popularity contest, they won. And they said that all matter was composed of, who can name the band? Earth. I like to say wind, but air, fire, and water. So they were in direct confrontation, argument, disagreement with Democritus. So what does Democritus say? He says, nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion. Well, it took a long time before people decided that, hey, maybe he was on the right track. So we wasted a lot of time going with this earth, wind, fire, water business. But that was the way it was. And since this is science, we go with what we got until we do an experiment and learn something else.